Community programming.
So, okay, so we can talk about like kind of like any kind of wacky. Good evening, everybody, and welcome again to Soul Work. I'm your host, Jeni Cousins, and thank you all for tuning in. And we all know Miss Kimberly Buckler, my co-host.
And good evening.
Good evening on this Mercury Retrograde Leo full moon night tonight, as I call it.
Yeah, the full moon was last night, but we're still in that energy.
Oh my goodness, and are we ever. So if you're finding Calgary, and I've talked to a lot of different people, if you're finding that things are intense, right? That's because you're picking up on the energy from the full moon and Mercury retrograde. The more sensitive you are, the more you're going to pick up on it, and the more troubles you're going to have staying grounded, right? It's all about like communication problems we can be having with certain people. As I was just even explaining, even to Kim a few moments ago, there is a situation yesterday, for instance, that I was trying to do, and it was all to do with communication. And regardless what I said, regardless how I showed it out, regardless what I did, this person was not comprehending absolutely anything whatsoever.
Okay.
It wasn't a client or anything like that. It was a situation I had to take care of, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, just let it go, right? And it's all about, if this is meant to happen, it's going to happen. I'm leaving things up to spirit. But things are really wonky. Communication right now is a big thing with the Mercury retrograde, right? Even you've noticed situations with communication with others right now?
Totally. And I think we've really got to watch what we say is the biggest thing. And I think communication is one of the hardest things that we have to master. So I quickly explained something about a week ago, and hearing something being said, and I took it personally, and I just had to stand back and go, okay, you know what, Kim, you just need to respect yourself and not fall for what someone's trying to relay on me. So we got to be careful. And you were saying crazy dreams. You had a wild dream last night. I had a crazy one. I had one that somebody broke into my house. I have no idea why. And
I would say, you know, the message behind that is watch what energy you're bringing into your home. You know what I mean? Meaning with other people and such like that, right? Because dreams really do come through even more wonkier on Mercury retrograde on the full moon as well, right? And I mean, even I had a wonky dream last night, and I'm like, oh, okay, it was a little disturbing. So it actually made me contact somebody this morning and send that person a little message, right? So, and that person this morning was alive and well, and everything was okay, right? But we have to follow up with things like that too, because what happens is, let's say, for instance, you know, somebody, of course, says things that aren't very nice to you. Let's say that somebody did that to you. What I find is, right, that's of course all our ego speaking. And what happens is a lot of people, you know, if they're speaking any negativity, if they're thinking any of these emotional issues, what happens is the ego is saying, hey, but what the most important thing is that we're dropping out and we're not paying attention to is our inner child. Right? Because when we are not taking care of our inner child, then our ego is going to walk all over it, and we're abandoning that inner child, right? So we need to nourish and love that inner child. So when our ego is bringing out anger, bringing out emotions, that's a part of us. That's the divine coming right through us that needs to be healed. That
and
we need to heal.
Hurt that's within,
ego.
like with that situation was that hurt being held on. And today I was in a store and I encountered a mother-daughter situation, and I thought, holy doodle bugs. And I just said to the young lady, I said, you know what, sweetheart, you are going to do an amazing job. Don't even worry. You do what you need to do with the mother right there, because that poor girl was being put down left, right, and center, and we can't do that. So it was, I pray to God I never do that to my kids, because, we really got to watch our words, and you know what, if we're hurting, don't relay that hurt onto somebody else. If I'm hurting, Jenny, I don't want you hurting. You know, I don't want that. I don't want that. And you know, this full moon too is really good for healing, healing the heart.
Yes, and it is all focused also on relationships too.
Yeah.
Right? So with this being like a Leo full moon, it's going to affect certain signs, like especially Leo. I'm a Leo, right? So the energy for me has been really intense. I'm going through a major transformation anyways, so I'm like this every day.
Yeah.
Right? So I have to just keep myself covered more with a lot more crystals and such with I do, and drink more water, right?
Okay.
Certain other signs are getting affected, Aquarius, certain, you know, signs. So you're going to find you're more wonkier than ever.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all perfectly normal.
Yeah.
So things that we're having, like today, for instance, if you had a breakdown and you're like, God, I'm just crying. I can't stop crying. I don't know why. What happens is the Spirit is bringing that out of you. The divine is coming out of you for you still to heal that certain part.
No, were you in my meditation room this morning?
Oh, I was all over the room this morning, believe me.
But yeah, you're right. When that happens, just allow it to flow.
Yeah, you have to have it come through. The more intense your emotions are, you have to face it head on, right? So if you're healing over something, you know, it could happen even when you're a child, you know, all the way up to now. So if you're still having emotions over that, you cannot numb it. You cannot push it aside. You have to head it on.
Okay.
Right, face it head on and release it and let go.
Yeah.
Right, there's many ways to do that and come to terms with stuff like that. Right, certain things we're okay with that don't bother us. Right, but the things that we're having this emotion breakdown with are certain things that we still need to heal yet.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have to work through that.
Yeah, and allow that process to happen, whether it's being by yourself for a bit or allowing those tears to flow. And
because you're going to get more headaches. You're going to, you know, you might even feel more nauseated as well, and a little like dizzy and such. And that's a clear sign that you need to drink more water. More liquids, any type of liquids, because especially with the Leo moon, Leo represents fire and the passion and such like that. So your body is going to naturally heat up.
Okay.
Right? You know, some of you might feel it, some of you might not feel it, but you got to drink more liquids, more water during this time.
That's what I found since the beginning of the year, since January 1st, is you go for a walk and right away I'm wanting to guzzle down water. Middle of the winter time.
Yeah.
So we all need to be doing that, consuming more of the water, not the sugar, the water.
Yeah.
Not the beer, the water.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Because this retrograde is also about more transformations too. Physical transformations. Yeah. Right? Clearing out more toxins, and it'll actually work with us a lot better this time. So, you know, for these people, like, such as myself, let's say, who's struggled with certain weight up and down, right? You know, the Leo moon energy with the Mercury retrograde is giving us that push.
Okay.
To, you know, break out certain habits.
Yeah.
Right? So we're always getting, you know, certain things. It's like certain things that I used to like, I don't like anymore. Certain things that I taste, I can't even taste it anymore because I can't tolerate it. Yeah. Right? So it's taking advantage of the energy right now to help you move forward.
Yeah.
Right? In all areas.
Yeah. And we got to nurture our body too with the proper nutrients, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been pretty interesting.
Yeah, because you've even cleared stuff out of your home. You cleared your freezer out of your home, right? Because you always used to say about the downstairs. And it's interesting when you told me once you cleared your freezer out.
Okay, yeah, and it was weird because I would smudge my house if something's gone funky in it or something's been moved. I'll smudge the whole house. Yeah. Every time I came to that cold room, I could never clear that properly. Yeah. Now that freezer's gone, which is over 50 years old, causing mold in my home, it's gone. I was able to clear that, and what a change, what a shift. So everything else this week has just all fallen into place. And it's been awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we are also tonight taking calls.
Okay.
So we are going to come back Calgary in the next couple of minutes after our commercial break. And what is that number, Kim, for the viewers to give us a call?
It is 403-539-6710.
So hang tight, Calgary. We will be right back after the short commercial break.
You fill up my senses come fill me again.
Fruits and veggies. They come in all shapes and sizes and add color and goodness to every meal and snack. So whenever you eat, include fruits and veggies and mix it up. For information and recipe ideas, visit fruitsandveggies.ca.
Calgary, you missed out. Kim and I are just howling. It was the full moon. What you don't know that happens behind scenes, oh dear God. It's a full moon, we have an excuse as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Right?
You gotta have fun.
Oh, you have to have fun. That's the thing. You have to bring out your inner child. Because life as it is, right, is a journey. So when things get tough, the tough gets going. Right?
There's that giggle.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's when you start laughing, and that's when I kind of get crazy and I just laugh at stupid things, like really, really stupid things where I shouldn't be laughing at.
Remember, you got hematite on.
So I'm covered. I'm covered in crystal snet. I'm ready, Calgary.
Our first caller is Candy.
Alrighty then. Candy.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm well. How are you two?
Good.
Hanging in there.
And your question?
Me too. I just wanted to ask you a question, the both of you. I am looking at starting working with a company. There's actually two companies that I'm thinking of, and I'm just wondering where I'm at, if I should bother or what's going to happen. I'm so stuck with it, I'm not sure if I'm just going to be wasting time and money, or my money, their time, whatever.
There's two companies?
Yeah.
The second one, does that one open, the second company, does that have more possibilities?
Well, one is like a marketing ploy, and the other one is more like a, which is really good, and it involves working with a group of people here in Calgary.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And the other one is selling products through a company, but working on my own here.
You actually could do either or, because the independence with the sales, right, was coming right through. So with Kim saying even number 2, that gives you more independence, right, to be more on your own, you know. But if I were you, honestly, I would take the number 1 first. The reason being is because I really feel you're going to get a lot more experience from that, because you really well could go into even like consulting, because I see you doing like one-on-one consulting, and you'd be really good at it. Like, you're the type of person that people would trust. So let's say, for instance, if I went into a dealership and I was buying a vehicle or something, right, and you were my salesperson, I would trust you, because, you know, you have that kind of like trusting energy. You don't have that kind of fake energy. Do you know what I mean? Salesy pitch, because when you're being yourself, right, and being honest about the situation, that's when people are going to draw to you more. And you're like that. You're an old soul. You're very intuitive, by the way. You've got a lot of gifts to offer people. You really do. You could teach.
Thank you.
I ramble on, right?
No, that's great. I'm seeing you on TV, and then I'm hearing you, and you're at different times. So, and it's nice what you're saying.
Right. Yeah. But you know, it's up to you. Like, either way would go okay. It really would. Like the second one, you know, that Kim said, it would give you more independence, right?
Could I ask you one really quick question?
Yeah.
Which one do you see me making more money at?
Number one.
So it's number one, meaning the job that I took at first?
Yeah, because the reason why I'm saying that, sometimes we have to take kind of 3 steps backwards in order to take a giant leap forward, right? So it's almost like with this first job, you're going to learn so much, right? So with you learning so much from this one job, so that way when the second job comes up again, because it will, right, then you're going to have all this experience and all of this knowledge to really take those huge giant steps forward, right? You could still jump into the second job and still do okay and everything, yeah. But personally, I would use the first one to my full benefit to help me get to the second one, to jump to the fourth one real quick.
Okay, well, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, yeah, so absolutely.
Okay, well,
we're
thank
blue.
you.
We're blue. Also, by the way, blue is the throat chakra. That represents communication, right? So let's say if I was going to an interview or doing like a really important speech or had a meeting or something, I would wear blue.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what color, blue, light, dark, whatever, because blue is for communication. And get on that and just go in there positive and just keep looking straight and keep going. And you'll be surprised. You really could be like making some really good money within a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Training
thank
others.
You, and have a good full moon.
Yes, yay. You go,
okay, thank you.
The inner
good
child.
night.
Good night. That's the inner child coming out.
Okay.
The inner child has to come out.
All right.
So I might howl after every call, by the way.
All right. And our next caller is Tanya.
Tanya.
Hello?
Hi there.
Hi, Tanya.
How are you tonight?
You know, I'm living the dream. How about you guys?
Good.
We're living with the full moon right now.
Yeah, right?
All right.
Very exciting. I have my primary question just kind of has to do with my sister. Without saying too much, I'm just kind of wondering what kind of
what's her first
feelings
name?
or vibes or whatever you're picking up.
What's her first name?
Diane.
Okay, why am I feeling, I don't know why I'm getting this, it might not have anything to do with it. Why am I feeling you've got 2 spirits around you? I've been getting a lot of messages from spirits lately this week. People have passed on and such like that, right? So I'm actually feeling 2 people who have passed on very much looking around you right now, looking over you right now, pulling you in a whole different direction. Why am I here? Like, why are you concerned with Diane?
Diane's been diagnosed with cancer, aggressive cancer.
Yeah, that's why. That's why. That's why these 2 people are coming in, right? So whenever we have someone who, let's say, is not well, okay, our loved ones, you know, they come through for us more because I'm feeling 2 strong presences around you. And with Diane, of course, too. There's somebody even more so around her, another female, right? But just, you know, hang in there, really. You know what I mean? Just really hang in there with the situation. And just, you know, just be there for her, be positive for her. What kind of cancer is it?
It's all over. It's spread. Spread all over. So we're actually thinking about going for some alternative treatment in a different country. And I'm just kind of, you know, we're trying to scramble and trying to make it happen. I'm wondering if it's the right decision.
Honestly, I wouldn't. That, you know, I mean, you have to go what is right for you. You know what I mean? If you feel that this is something that, you know, you feel is right to do, you should.
Right.
You know, you know, it's like leaving this up in God's hands, right? Because the last thing I will ever do is let anybody know when somebody's going to pass. If that's going to happen, I won't do that. But I would leave this up to God's hands. I really, truly would, right? Because you're being watched over. Diane's being watched over, right?
Well, that's amazing. That's great to hear.
The trip is feasible. Like, I heard it was feasible. It can happen if that's what they really want to do.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling like it's a worst case scenario. I'm going to have a great chance to spend some time with her, right?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And that's the thing. Whenever, you know, like certain things like that come up, it gives us, you know, that opportunity to do actually more soul searching, regardless of what happens, regardless if they stay with us for a long time or regardless if they don't, right?
Right.
It's giving us that wake up call and reality check of, oh, wow, you know, now I'm going to be looking at things differently.
And to let go of resentments.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
It's kind of an eye-opener, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the soul searching.
Yeah.
You know, we all...
Forgiveness.
Yes.
You letting go.
Absolutely. With any, regardless of what. You know what I mean? Regardless if she's here for another day or another 10 years type thing, right? It's,
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's taking that opportunity and using it for our benefit.
Right. Okay. And should I be concerned if we do end up going down, should I be concerned that this is right at the time I'm about to start a new job? I mean, they're telling me, you know, it's don't worry about it, Tanya, family first, but, you know.
You got to make that decision on your own. Right?
Yeah.
Regardless if you start at your job or regardless if you don't, and you got to let all guilt go, right? Because let's say, for instance, if you start your job and something happens, you're going to feel guilt, right? So even if you don't take this job, right, and, you know, everything stays the same, you're still going to feel that guilt.
Right.
Right?
Totally. Yeah, you're so right.
Yeah. So you have to do what's best for you. You know what I mean? It's like listen to your gut instinct. You know, it's like if you want to, you know, take the job, you should take the job, right? You know, you got to make sure that you're also going to be okay too.
For sure.
If this is a job you've been waiting for and it's a dream job, then you need to honor yourself for that. But you will still be with your sister in spirit, no matter what.
Oh,
yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we got to continue living on, regardless of what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, we're like, okay, I know that this is the situation now. However, I also have to, you know, live my life as well.
Yeah, and your sister would want that for you too.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because you know, it's the guilt letting it go. What if we can't do that?
Oh my God, totally.
No, we can't. So just take things one day at a time right now. And you know, it's all about, you're going to feel your loved ones coming around you. There's 2 of them, 3 of them actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know, you can just call upon them, give me some kind of a sign you're here. Like there's so many ways that we can get signs, so many, right? I always have candles lit on the set because, you know, many reasons. It attracts angels, it attracts spirits, lots of things happen with that, right?
For sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Happy full moon.
Yes.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Second howl of the night, or actually, no, third howl of the night.
She's got a beautiful voice. She's got that little girl in there.
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome to
the
hear.
Inner child. Inner childness with that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Our next caller is Nancy.
Who?
Hello, Nancy.
Hi, Kim. Hi, Jenny.
Hi.
Hello,
Talking about the full moon and the Mercury Retrograde, it explains a lot of things.
It's crazy time. Just pure crazy time.
I actually phoned in last week, and I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
It was in regards to how to remove blocks.
Okay, that's such a long process, right? There's so many different things with removing blocks, right? What about you, Kim?
What we can work on it energetically. We can, if you know what it is, then it's just facing those fears for going forward. If you're having a really hard time with releasing those blocks, then say someone who does energy work like Reiki or stuff like that, that'll help to release that. It's easier for an outside person to help you release that out of your system. It could be something that was from a past life or something that's happened when you were, say, 2-3 years old. You know, anytime through your life. So sometimes it's easier to have someone else help you. What I do first is work on it myself, face my fears, and a lot of times those blocks will go. If I'm really stuck, then I'll get a hold of a practitioner and get that assistance.
Yeah, because now actually is the time to do it, because what happens is with Mercury Retrograde, especially Mercury Retrograde, right, any issues, let's say, that, you know, are emotional that we still need healing from, what happens is they're going to come forth even more so. It doesn't matter what issues this is, and if you try to run away from the situation, you are putting more blocks on that situation. The only way we're going to be able to release these blocks is to deal with the situation head on. right? And, you know, deal with it and resolve it each and every day, right? The more we run from it, the more we try to ignore it or block it, you're creating all kinds of blockages in your body, which blocks your chakras, right? Which creates sickness and toxins to come in your body. So we have to hit to the root problem before you can release it, right? Because you can do certain things, you know, like the energy work and all of that, which is fantastic. It really helps and all that stuff. But if we're not resolving these issues from within, they stay there. It's just a temporary release. They come back and they stick to you. They do not release. So you have to resolve these issues head on each and every day to release it.
Okay.
You do. You know, that's the only way, regardless how painful it is. You know, so today, if you're having a moment like you just started crying over something, it's like, okay, what am I crying over? Right? What's really bothering me? Right? You have to deal with it. You have to let it out. You have to release it. Right? You can't keep on pushing it aside. And you know, it's looking at reality. It's looking at, you know, the truth with something like that. It's like, for instance, if you were, you know, molested, for instance, when you were younger, you can't push that aside. You know, you have to deal with it. You have to deal with it head on.
Yeah, and sometimes, I'm going to go back to the energy again, too, because I truly believe in that, because sometimes there could be a soul retrieval, too. So say if somebody got hurt like that when they were little, there's part of us that shatters.
Yes.
Sometimes it's hard for us to bring it back. That's where that energy work will help out with that. So it's a combination of the two. The energy work helps, but then also afterwards we also need to go forward and continue working with that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like healing that inner child, releasing that inner child that we're abandoning, right?
And you know what? And sometimes we don't even know why we have those blocks. We have no idea. And that's where that outside help does come in.
Absolutely. You know, it's pushing those buttons. Like, I'll sit there, it depends on the situation with somebody, and I'll purposely hit a button on somebody. I'll touch a root with somebody on purpose, because it's like opening up that can of worms. Because if, you know, the old saying is, you got to open up that can of worms to heal from within. Right? You can't keep that can of worms locked up in that can. Because it'll never get healed. It never gets brought to the surface.
Okay,
right?
So you're doing it, it's kind of cool, because you're doing it verbally when you're working with someone with the readings.
I do it inner side, inner, with the pranic healing and the, in the inner.
When I do it with the Reiki or whatever I do, it's able to see that within the person, and all of a sudden you're working on it, you go, oh my goodness, this is where it came from. This is part of that situation, and we're able to release that from your system.
Yes, absolutely. But we would spend more time with you, Nancy, but it's just that we're actually already at the end of the show for today already.
Holy.
Right? But it's,
thank you very much.
You're welcome, but it's taking those steps each and every day that we need to do. You know, outer, inner. You know, energetically, and so many different ways to release it. There's different ways that we can do it. You know what I mean? And it's all about just, you know, don't be hard on yourself. You know, we're all humans, and we all have things that we have to resolve. And we want to thank each and every person that tunes in every Wednesday night live on Shaw TV. And we want to, you know, say good evening to the full moon at Mercury Retrograde again, Calgary. I'm your host, Jenny Cousins. Thanks again. This is my co-host, Kimberly Buckler, and we'll see you next Wednesday night with a guest live at 6:30.
And blessings for your journey.
Yes.
The proceeding was an independently produced